Do you fear public speaking? And the very mention of this, the thought, it brings up this fear that you just want to run away from every opportunity and avoid it if possible. And it's costing you, and you want to know how can you have more confidence and courage to start seizing these opportunities. Well, if that's the case, today's video, I'm going to help with you some keys that are going to allow you to seize these opportunities and actually enjoy speaking in public. So stay tuned. You know, one thing, I've been training entrepreneurs to become confident public speakers for many years, working with TEDx, working with clients that are getting in front of a large audience, 2, 3, even up to 6,000 people plus. And the one thing that is constant is the fears, okay? So the first piece, it's this self-stigma element. It's that, you know, you're getting ready to give a talk and you have this opportunity coming up, and it's just this wave of fears, of self-doubt, of physical sensations. Your heart's gonna start racing, your chest is gonna feel like it's tightening up, you're gonna have difficulty thinking, all these physical sensations and negative thoughts. And what often happens is the self-stigma comes in, thinking, why can't I do this? Why am I having these fears? And we start to look around at everybody else, especially if you're giving a talk at a conference and you're thinking, nobody else here is feeling that. And why is it happening to me? Well, spoiler alert, as someone who has coached top speakers for many years, I will share with you that pretty much every one of those speakers on that panel will be having the very same fears that you have, okay? It's these fears of failure, of not being good enough, of, you know, this fear of bombing, all these fears come up. But it's about courage, which is taking action in the face of fear. That's gonna help you move past that. Now, what's gonna happen is first, we gotta reduce that self-stigma. So instead of beating ourselves up thinking, what's wrong with me? Start looking at it as, what are you proud of yourself for? Because the fact is, the fear of public speaking is one of the most common fears there is. So having it is not a huge, it's not a huge issue. It's not a life sentence. It's something that's very normal. But what is superhuman about this is the fact that you are taking this action to break through it. Okay, so that's the big thing, is when you change that negative self-talk and you start looking at what is it that you're doing well, that's going to boost you moving forward. Thinking about the audience too, which often brings up a lot of anxiety, is the fact that most people in that audience would be deathly afraid and would avoid this opportunity to speak in public. And so the very fact that you get on stage, even if you bomb, it's still a win because most people would not be doing it. So the first piece is shifting that dialogue for yourself from self-stigma, from inner critic, to start appreciating what it is that you're doing that's great, how you're proud of yourself. That's gonna start moving you forward. Now, the second piece is, as we start moving forward into it, it's how do you deal with the fears? So what often happens is people have these fears and they want to run away from it. They'll say, no, I don't want this opportunity. You know, I make up all these excuses that, you know, it's a scheduling conflict, your dog ate your speech, you have a car accident on the way there, whatever it is, all these excuses happen. And then what often happens is a person gets to the event and you're at the event, and that's where just a couple minutes before your talk, that's where the nerves really spike up. That's where all the fears come up. And, you know, I can relate as someone who struggled with panic attacks and anxiety in my personal life for many, many years, from age 14 to 29. I know how it feels, and the instinct is to run. And I mean, the reason that I waited so long to actually get help with my panic attacks and anxiety was self-stigma, shame, frustration. And I mean, the piece is that I kept kicking it down the can. I kept kicking that can down saying, I don't want to deal with this right now. I'll keep avoiding and avoiding and avoiding it. And the next thing you know, that's 15 years down the line, tremendous missed opportunities, inauthenticity, built up a tremendous amount of armor to keep people away from seeing that soft center inside that was afraid to be hurt and to be vulnerable. And so maybe you're experiencing something similar, and now is the time you're getting around to going, look, this is something that I want to deal with. I bring this to you because most people, when the fears come up, they want to run. Okay, they want to run, and what I urge you to do is instead run towards the fear. Why? Because if we run away from it, what happens is it becomes worse. Okay, you get more fear, you get more anticipatory anxiety for next time, and also your self-confidence, you're reinforcing that you're not facing your fears, you're running away from it. So therefore, the fears are more powerful than you are. This is not a high confidence place to be from. Instead, we want to shift it around that you're the type of person that steps into your fears to address them. Because the one thing that I want to urge to you is that whenever you step into your fears, The greatest fear is always before you take that action. The moment that you confront it, the fear of, am I good enough? Okay, well, get on stage, put yourself out there. Or the fear of, am I gonna make a mistake when I'm giving a talk? Go up there and do it. I guarantee you, people aren't gonna notice it nearly as much as you make it up to be in your own mind. And plus, the second that they walk out of that talk, they're going to be just bombarded with phones and messages and emails. They've already forgot about that little mistake that you made, but we have an ability to just make it catastrophic. And that's really counterproductive. So the second piece is just run towards it. Run towards your fears. And step 3, and this might be one of the most important one, it's embrace your fears. Okay, embrace your fears. Often I run Speak with Confidence training, and we create this safe container for people to show up and to be heard and to really open up and let their guard down. And they get up there and they talk about, I've had a successful business and I feel like an imposter. I have a successful business and I feel like I'm not good enough. All these other people think I'm so amazing and I don't believe that about myself. And they share it and they cry and they feel vulnerable and exposed. And what happens is they're surrounded by a group of people that are also successful and having the same thoughts, the same fears, the same insecurities. And I just wish that you were able to see into the minds of the people that you look up to, because I guarantee you, they go to bed at night and they have those insecurities and those fears, and they're about to take that step forward to give that talk, to put themselves out there, and just as they do that, they're overwhelmed with a wave of fears and insecurities. And so knowing that you're not alone, that this isn't a sign that you're not good enough, that you're just a normal human being, and part of this human experience is having these fears, having these insecurities, but it's what do you do with it? Are you going to run away from it and kick that can down the road so that it's going to build up and more opportunities are going to miss? Your confidence is going to go lower. You're going to have lots of regrets. Or are you going to run towards it and say, what do you got? What are these fears? And embrace them, going, let me actually see this face to face and take that step forward. And I urge you to run towards it, because I promise you what's going to happen is it's going to be a transformation on your end. Because when you start facing these fears, you take it on, your confidence is going to grow, you're going to make it happen, it's going to build, and you're going to be so much more confident as an individual. But more importantly, you're going to make a bigger impact on this planet, because you're giving yourself permission to share your voice, to be heard, to be seen, and to inspire others. And that's what this whole journey is about. It's about being honest, being real, and sharing your authentic voice. So I urge you to run towards these fears, share your message, and make an impact. Now, oftentimes people think, hey, that's great, this is inspiring, and I'd love someone to help me. If that's the case, I do offer training on this, so go to levelupliving.com/apply, fill in the form, book a call. It's either gonna be with myself or one of my team members, but if this resonates with you, you wanna get in that safe container where you can explore the fears and have these confidence breakthroughs so you're able to share your message, highly recommend you to go to levelupliving.com/apply. I look forward to speaking with you then.